You made something you were genuinely proud of. You checked the wording, picked your moment, hit post. And it died. 9 likes, your mom, a bot, and 7 people being polite. A week later, you almost don't bother sharing some lazy throwaway, and that one explodes. 1 million views. The junk wasn't better. So you blame the algorithm, or yourself. But both posts had their fate sealed before they were an hour old, not by quality, but by the random handful of people who happened to scroll past first. Virality was rigged, just not by anyone you can be mad at. Let's watch how a post actually spreads. You post, a few people see it at random, whoever's scrolling right then. Here's the part that changes everything. When someone sees your post already has likes, they're more likely to like it too. The counter is an advertisement. A high count feels worth stopping for. A low one feels skippable, same words. So every like makes the next like more likely. That's a snowball. Success feeds on success. Catch a lucky lead early and it runs away. Start cold and you stay cold. Not because you're worse, but because nothing's pushing your snowball yet. It's not favoritism, just a simpler, older math. And the cleanest way to see it is a jar of colored balls. This little game is over a century old. Mathematicians call it a polya urn, but forget the name, watch the rule. A jar, 2 balls, 1 red, 1 blue. Dead even. Each round, reach in without looking and pull out 1 ball. Whatever color you drew, you put it back and add 1 more of that same color. That's the whole game. Draw red, red gets reinforced. Draw blue, blue gets reinforced. So each color you pull becomes more common and more likely to get pulled again. It's the like counter stripped to its bones. The rich get richer. Red and blue start perfectly equal. No color is better. So let's just play and watch what a fair start actually does. Round 1, we draw red. 2 reds, 1 blue, red's ahead. Round 2, red's likelier now, and yeah, red again. Feel the trap? Every red makes the next red more likely. Blue can fight back, but only early, while the numbers are tiny. Here's the key. Early on, 1 lucky draw swings the fraction wildly. Add a ball when there are 3 in the jar and you've moved everything. Add 1 when there are 10,000 and nobody notices. So watch this run bounce hard for the first few draws. Then stop, commit to a number, and hold there forever. Ours locked in around 70% red. 1 fair jar, and it did not end up at 50-50. That was 1 run. Now commit to a guess. Really commit. We're going to play this jar not once, but thousands of times, each from the same fair start. Every run, we let it go forever and write down the final fraction of red. Then pile all those fractions into a histogram. 1 run gave 70%. Another might give 30, or 90, or 5. So where do most of the runs stack up? Almost everyone feels the same pull. It's a fair start. Reinforcement, sure, but it should balance out to around half. So you picture a hump in the middle, most runs near 50-50, a few strays at the edges. Lock that shape in, a bell, piled at 1/2. Now watch what actually falls out, because it is not a hump. Here come the runs. Each plays out, locks onto its final fraction, and drops a dot. 100 runs, 1,000, 100,000. And the pile is not a hump. It's not piled at 50-50. It's not piled anywhere. It's flat. Perfectly, eerily flat, all the way across. Runs that lock in at 5% red are exactly as common as runs at 50 or 95. Every final fraction is equally likely. From an even, fair start, a reinforced game doesn't drift toward the middle. It's just as happy to run away to any extreme. And it's not hand-waving. It's exact. After any number of draws, every possible count of red balls is precisely equally likely. 50-50 isn't the destiny. It's just one option out of 1,000. So if every outcome is equally likely, what decides which one you get? The answer is almost cruel, the first few draws. Early draws swing the fraction hard. Late draws can't move it at all, so whichever color stumbles into an early lead writes the ending. There's a beautiful way mathematicians put this. The fraction you're at now is, on average, exactly the fraction you'll end near. Wherever you are, you tend to stay, no pullback to fair. A tiny random head start doesn't fade, It gets amplified and frozen. Play the same fair jar 1,000 times, and you get 1,000 different destinies, each decided in its opening moments by pure luck. That is your post. The first few strangers who scrolled past were the first few draws. They didn't know it, but they picked the winner. Now something should be nagging you. Usually luck washes out, the hot streak cools, the record breaker comes back to earth. That's regression to the mean. So why not here? Regression happens when each event stands on its own, a fresh dice roll that doesn't care what came before. But in the jar, each draw changes the jar. Your luck edits the dice, so instead of washing out, it compounds. Independent trials pull you home, self-reinforcing ones fling you to the edges. Virality lives firmly in the second world. You could say, cute jar, but the real world has quality. Good stuff rises. In 2006, researchers Salganic, Dodds, and Watts tested exactly that. A music site, 48 songs by unknown bands, 14,000 listeners, secretly split into separate parallel worlds. In one world, people saw only the songs, just the music. In the others, they saw each song's download count, the like counter. If quality ran the show, every world would crown the same hits. It didn't, not even close. A song that smashed in one world flopped in the next. Same song. Quality set a floor and a ceiling. True garbage rarely won. True gems rarely bombed. But in the huge middle, which songs blew up was essentially random, decided by whichever caught an early lucky streak. Parallel worlds, identical songs, wildly different winners. Your feed runs that experiment on your posts every day. So here's what to walk away with. When something goes viral, we tell a story of merit. It blew up because it was great. But a runaway hit and a buried flop can come from the exact same seed. The difference is often just who looked first. That's not depressing, it's freeing. Your flop wasn't a verdict on your work. It was one run of a very unfair jar. Which is also the strategy. You can't control the snowball, but you can buy more rolls. Post again, post more. Every fresh start is another jar, another shot at an early lead you can't force. So tell me in the comments, what's the best thing you ever made that the world just ignored? Let's give a few of those early draws right now.